transparency, immutability, and security, which characterize those blockchain technology that have propelled it into a domain of from being a means of carrying out decentralized monetary or asset transaction that has been adopted in areas like healthcare, real estate, supply chain management, and energy distribution. Blockchain is a peer-to-peer ledger system that allows the transaction among peers without any centralized authority. The peer-to-peer network is completely decentralized because each peer carries a copy of the ledger. The ledger can be complete copy or the minimal copy that required to stay connected and functional for the network to ensure the consensus across the transaction using blockchain technology. The consensus method like proof of work, proof of stake. Also, each transaction is completely secure with the help of advanced cryptographic algorithm. The whole blockchain mechanism is used to benefit from its trust, immutability, and transparency. The idea is the complete opposite of the centralization and a network with peers that capable of doing the transactions without any centralized authority. And in simple idea, it's single-handedly changing how the industry works. The blockchain architecture is a component. Based on this component that the blockchain architecture is designed, how the blockchain is functioning based on transactions, blocks, consensus, and mining. These are the general components, and the different types of blockchain architecture is classified that the public, private, and other consortium types and blocks, that is the composed blockchain is consists of these blocks, and the blocks are stored in a linear way where the latest one is attached to the previous block. That's how the chain is generated. Each block contains the data, and the structure of the data stored within the blocks is determined by the type of blockchain and how it manages the data. In a block,
Probability of reaching a target. Probability of reaching a target. Probability of reaching a target.
The authenticity
Acquisition
of
on
any
target.
block
Acquisition
and
on
whether it
target.
should be attached
Acquisition
to the
on
current
target.
chain. The hash is unique to every block and hence cannot be replicated by any malicious block. It is also a gateway to understanding what the block includes. This enables the block to protect its content. So if someone tries to change the information within the blocks, the hash value will also change. That's the triggering a warning so that other blocks do not accept it. The structure of each blocks can be divided into three parts basically: the data, the hash, and the previous block hash. The whole chain is constructed with this fashion. The transaction that takes place within the network when the peers send those information, and it is the key element of any blockchain, and whether without it there would be no purpose in initiating a transaction. The transaction is being initiated using this key element of any blockchain, and the transaction will occur, and that consists of those data including the sender, receiver, and the value of this, and the similar to that transaction that performed within this modern technology, and these are the only differences, that the transaction here is done without a centralized authority. And the simple example will be a cryptocurrency, where the transaction initiate an agreed contract of the blockchain which change its states. It needs to be updated by all the nodes, as the whole blockchain is decentralized and each node contains an exact copy of the ledger. A state of blockchain is created, any single transaction can initiate a state change. The block contains a bunch of transactions. There is a limit that imposed on how many transactions can stay in a single block, and those verification of the transaction is done by independent nodes. Technically, those transactions can have one or more inputs or outputs. The transactions are linked so that they can keep a proper note on the expenditure done and in that blockchain. And it's the mining that the part is important for a blockchain network, where this Bitcoin is used for a mining purpose with a proof of work. That block creation, those require the real world effort, which is actually being called as the proof of work. Or Bitcoin use that functionality to creation of the block, and this is done by spending the computational unit to solve those complex mathematical puzzles. The miners are the responsible for those operations in mining procedure, and nodes with those necessary hardware participate in the mining processes. Mining is the only required in the public blockchain field, and the last important part of the blockchain is architecture for the consensus part, which is a method by which a transaction can be validated. Each blockchain can have a different consensus method attached, as the proof of work and the proof of stake. It's a set of rules that needs to be followed by everyone in the network, and to impose a consensus method, the node should be participate. Without any node participation, the consensus method cannot be implemented. Bitcoin has a big network and offers a great incentive to become a miner. The miners can collectively also follow their own wishes or make their point. If there are any changes in the blockchain, then miners can decide on how to achieve that change, how to respond to that particular change. And if a change that they do not approve of has been made, they can protest again. For watching, see you in the next video.